I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I am at Shiloh Beach, and we had a wonderful time. This night, we woke up, very natural, very quiet place. I usually get my inspiration for the next video before I sleep. Yesterday, I shared a video on how I built our publishing company from scratch. Today, I want to share with you how I built finances from scratch. See, I was born into a poor home. That is not a sentence. It is a situation. That should not determine the circumference of your finances and your life. Hardship and poverty should create a stimulus to change your background. In every family, there's one man that decides that history must not repeat itself in his life. And I was that child. I decided to conquer illiteracy. I decided to conquer poverty. I decided to conquer obscurity. I decided to conquer timidity and mediocrity. But to conquer financial difficulties take time. Even though I was a medical doctor at 25, the salary was 375 naira 50 kobo in 1984-85. That was substantial, but the responsibilities I had were many. Paralyzed father, paralyzed mother, I needed to get married and all that. I needed to build a house for my parents and all that. So when I went for youth service, I was being paid 200 naira. 200 naira as an NYSC doctor. So what did I do? Number one, for you to be able to save, you must have extra income. Deliberately look for extra income. No matter how small, intentionally look for extra income. So you can't just sit down with one, because wealth is a lake while income is a spring. The more springs that feed the lake of your finances, the better for you. So if you say you don't like stress, then you can't save and you can't be rich. Fortunately for me, I married during the youth service period. So I was doing manual consultations in chemists, trekking from hospital to hospital to go and see patients, and they will pay me. If they paid me, I will make sure that I do a budget of that 200 naira and the extra income I received. I prioritize. When I prioritize, from there, I'm able to determine how much I will save. So one of the things you need to learn how to do is that delayed gratification that I told you about earlier on. You must learn to say, I don't need to finish everything that I earn. I don't need to consume. When I eat my meals, I eat some, I leave the rest, and I will eat again. So my wife and I were very frugal. Number two, we practice fitness for purpose. People were buying kidney, liver, and all that. We couldn't afford that at that time. We could spend the money and still owe, but we didn't want to do that. So we will buy pancreas, we will buy the lungs of the cow. That is what we will eat. And I told you in the previous video that we'll buy the necks of fowl and the legs of chicken. The necks of fowl are not growing in my neck now. Neither are the legs of chicken growing in my hands. Nobody will eventually know what you ate in Genesis when you reach Revelation. So, and this belly never gets satisfied. It's like the earth. It never gets satisfied. You determine your level of satisfaction by regulating your satiety center. Your satiety center is regulated by the prefrontal cortex, while your appetite is generated from the amygdala, the midbrain, which is an animalistic tendency. So you must regulate it. You must determine, I'm not going to buy this dress, I'm not going to buy this shoe, I'm not going to buy this wristwatch, I'm not going to do this. I've not been wearing wristwatches for a long time. This one was bought for me by my son because he counts my steps and measures my pulse rate. So when you have extra income and then you have self-discipline, it takes discipline to save. Then you must have a vision. I woke up this morning, I'm not under any pressure. I don't pay rent anywhere. I don't need to go to work for me to live this good life. I didn't pay here for this place. I was brought here. Everything, food and whatever we have taken is paid for. So I wanted to live this life. I wanted to have financial freedom, personal freedom, and financial independence. Now, there are my mates that I used to preach with in those days. They'll get money, they squander. Get money, they squander. Till today, they dare not say the things I say on social media. Because if they say them, they will block them from preaching in those churches. But I can tell the churches and whoever is offended by the truth I'm saying, bust you. It is because I have the box. If you don't have the box, you can't bust any person. So when I realized that very early, and I also saw how my father, at the point of retirement, was dependent upon government and retirement benefit. And my education was nearly strangulated. I told myself, no, I must get financial independence and financial freedom. And so, how can I do that? It is by target saving. I will save for an objective. So, I was working at the Royal Hospital number 4, Pobo Road. My wife was earning 500 naira. I was earning 1,500 naira. Okay, let me go a little bit backward. Do you know from the youth service money and my extra jobs, I was able to save money to buy a 504 Peugeot car, IM49BN, at the end of NYSC and with my salary. So I needed that car for status as a medical doctor, needed that car for convenience to carry my wife and my children, but it came from saving and depriving myself. So the saving to buy the car was an aspirational saving. You don't just save money and put it in the bank. If you save money and put it in the bank, if you plot the value of money against time, it's like the demand curve. It will reduce in value with time. So you must save with an objective in mind. That objective might be to invest. That objective might be to buy something that you can use in future to build a business. So, as I was receiving 1,500 and my wife was receiving 500 naira, I was selling second-hand clothing. I was selling second-hand clothing with my wife. We bought second-hand clothing from Obi Alaribe. We will go to Free Zone in area market and sell second-hand clothing. I will hide so that my patients won't see me. But we needed that extra income. By multiplying the money we had, we multiplied it in the second-hand clothing so that it can increase in quantity, so that we can save part of the salary, and so that I can start buying things for the hospital. So I started buying things for the hospital that I wanted to open, gradually, things that will not spoil, galley pods, artery forceps, sterilizing units, different things, drip stands. I bought the drips and all that gradually. And then I was able to open the place by taking a small loan from New Nigerian Bank there, 2,500. And that is the last loan I took in 1988. So you can see that I had today in mind that was making me deprive myself of yesterday. So you pay now so that you can play in future. So I paid for the play that I'm enjoying now in the past. So you think about where you want to go. But people who are not able to save want to eat their future now. So don't eat your future now. And when I started preaching, they will give me money. When they give me money, I knew it was not my money. I would tell myself, this money is for my children's children to see. My children's children must see the effect of this money in my life in future. And today, they are seeing it. So it's aspirational. People who don't save don't have aspiration. When an athlete puts himself under stress to train, to lift weights, to run, it is the Olympics he's looking at, where he will receive a crown of excellence. So I was looking at the crown of excellence, financial excellence, anything excellence. And so, why I'm excited about anything I do is that I've proven these things to be true. So, you save because of the future. You dress excessively, eat excessively, buy cars excessively because of the present and because you want to impress people. But when you see your future and the role you want to play, you deprive yourself. Because like the people who earn salaries from me today that I pay more than 100 workers. Graduates and non-graduates, I pay contractors, I pay people building materials, I pay electricians, pay mechanics, buy spare parts, pay carpenters. The people who I pay today are as a result of the pain I endured yesterday. So if you don't have aspiration, you can never save. So it is that aspiration. Then you also save to have discretionary income. That is money you can spend on one or two things and all that. And then I also saved because of my children. If you read Hold On to Your Vision, I wrote there that I'm not going to be a specialist. That's years back, 1998. That I'm not going to be a specialist. But my son, one of my children, will be a specialist. So you have this aspirational income that you gather from savings. But as you are saving, don't just save and put the money in bank. Save, do short-term investment, long-term investment, medium-term investment. When you invest like that, you will see that your income, your wealth will be growing. And when you save, it gives you confidence. When you save, it gives you liberty to invest. When you save, it helps you maximize opportunities. When you save, you are able to live healthy. That is to say, you can determine what you eat, where you sleep, where to go for therapy, and all that. I want to encourage you. There is no amount of money you will get that is enough. Because Parkinson's law of expenditure states that the more you make, the more you spend. So break that law, save, and then you will see that with time, wealth is gradually accumulated. I save to invest most times. Investment is the future that I throw my money into so that it can grow. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.